to talk to them, because it looks like there's 2 days to get everything the rest of the way out. We can get the main lengths out and whatever, but the ones that are buried and have to patch them, that takes a little bit longer, but at least the main part will be out, all the cones and all the bars. And if everything goes right, by the end of the week, we'll have the sewer approval from Westchester, and we'll start on the sewer line. So we'll be starting, hoping next week for the sewers.
We talked, I sent
They come out there at like 8. So what we've been doing is we've been trying to delay it and maintain at least traffic through while we mobilize.
But which restaurant is this?
ASAP's
Oh.
Fable.
But when I told them everything will be gone tomorrow, and the next day I saw him, he was very elated that all the pipes were gone, because he never thought in a million years when I talked to him that it would be gone. I said, this will all be gone tomorrow. He's like, yeah, yeah. And then next morning I go, there you go. So we're
Hope you offered
getting.
your drink.
Oh, please. You want
A glass
something
of
Asian?
water, just a glass of water.
Yeah, no,
that's
I don't
it.
want, I just need to.
So just skipping ahead, so everything will be done. And we're moving on to the sewer system now, starting out the week of October, on October
Yeah,
30th,
I hope it
correct?
next Monday. Be noisy, but it will not be as intrusive, because we'll be working only at night, and you won't have any of the pipes or anything out. So what'll happen is we'll come in, show up at night, do our work, put the steel plates on it, and be gone when everybody shows up in the morning. We'll be out of there. But it's just time consuming, because once we get from the Westchester County main line trunk to the first manhole, once we have that bypass part there, then it looks like they're gonna bring 2 crews. So we have one going up Lower King while the other one goes down South Greeley, so that we're doing them at the same time as we do it. The biggest problem we're gonna have there is where the laterals are, because nobody knows where they are, nobody knows what elevations they come in to the main, so there's a lot with that. To get that set up, and then again, how they're gonna do with the testing, because it's very deep there. We're going down probably 9-10 feet we have to dig down.
Wow.
So Kaz, I know the answer to this already, but is there any way to kind of limit the amount of noise at night to
What we did
help our
was,
residents?
I spoke with the fire department. We have permission to put pipe up on Center Street. They're gonna let us put some pipe there and maybe manholes, but we gotta see when we got it, because the ones that already come. So we're gonna be pulling pipe from there, so we don't have to come back and forth as much. And all the spoils and everything are going back here, so we're
Right.
still out of there. Nothing's going over there unless we have to store something.
Right.
But that's pretty much it.
And is all the saw cutting, can we do that during the day, the saw cutting, or everything has to be?
Yeah,
at
he
night?
can do that with the Vermeer wheel. That makes a lot, we're to the one side, so it's kind of like Lower King. It's tough, but again, we had Kramer, actually, it wasn't Kramer, it was Con Ed with another contractor doing the pressure testing yesterday.
And how's
the-
Con Ed coming along?
Upper King down, they're connected to the lines going down North and South Greeley, pressure tested to the one that goes up and over 120 bridge. So as of last night, they extended, I'd say maybe a third of the way down Lower King. So they only have to go to the railroad tracks, or before the railroad tracks, but they're to the end of Lower King. But then Con Ed comes back and does all the service connections from it. They pressure tested it now, so my understanding is it's gonna be online. Then they can come back and do the last connections across. But they wind up showing up during the day. It's, because it's not Kramer and it's not PSI, which is part of Yonkers that were there. It's Con Ed people. So you know how that works.
So the management report that I gave you to track the progress, both financial as well as
Yeah, I
change
have
orders.
Jovan working on that to do it for the next payment for them to put the thing together.
So like another 2 weeks, you think?
Yeah, the next one when it comes in, we're gonna put something together with the pictures. It's been crazy. And we're doing the double shifting, and it's just been.
No, I know, I
Now
figured-
now we're catching up, because last week and this week, now it's mainly just nights. So during the day, it's not as hectic or crazy, even though you still get all the phone calls and
Right. No,
seeing
no.
everybody. But everything seems to be mellowing out now that we're getting rid of the pipe, and we're not around as much during the day. So everybody's more, people coming through town, I don't get as many calls about flag people and about everything else. So it seems to be,
Yeah, so like another
Easy
2
enough.
weeks you think is
Yeah.
reasonable? Cool,
yeah, because I got to get him the next payment. That's what we were just talking about before. So.
good.
Are they putting the stormwater and the sewer in at the same time?
No, just the sewer first, because we want to get all the laterals in, and then they'll know where everything is, we can mark it, and then right after that, they'll start down at the culvert and come
Work
up the
your way
road.
back. Gotcha.
so.
It's your third hat you're wearing tonight. Your third hat. It's your third hat
I
tonight.
got multiple hats. Dan Griffin, who's the president, was supposed to be making this presentation, but he, with the storm today, he had some trees come down near his house, took up a bunch of telephone poles and the wires to his house. He's got small children, so they've told him he'll be out of electricity for at least one day, if not longer. They're not sure at this particular point, so you're stuck with me as far as that's concerned.
For
In
the
any
record-
case,
For the record, he doesn't live in Newcastle, just.
member of the Rotary. In 1979, the Rotary in the Philippines started a anti-polio testing, and they were told that they couldn't possibly control it with the things that were available, but they did such a good job that in 1985, Rotary International took it over as a worldwide project. And since then, they've immunized 2.5 billion children in 122 countries. From 300,000 polio cases per year, it was down to 27 last year. And so
7,000?
27.
27. And this year it's down to 9.
What countries? Do you know?
The two countries that still have it are Afghanistan and Pakistan. And that's to a certain extent because of the Taliban attacking, vaccinating people and claiming that the medications were designed to interfere or harm the people of the two countries in question. Some people who were vaccinating or giving the oral vaccine were killed or have been killed in those two countries. So that's the one part that's still going. But at the present point, because of the drop that's occurred, we're trying to finish the whole thing. So Rotary International has agreed to raise $50 million a year for the next 3 years. And the Gates Foundation is going to match that on a 2-for-1 basis. So it'll be $500 million over the next 3 years. And the intention is to vaccinate or give the vaccines to approximately 400,000 children over the next 3-year period. Right now, there are three types of polio things. Type 2 hasn't been seen since 1999, so it's assumed that that has been eradicated. Type 3, they haven't seen it since 2012, but the epidemiology reports indicate you've got to go for a long period of time before they consider it a complete eradication. But so that they're only dealing with type 1 at the present point. And as I said, we're down to nine cases so far this year. So in any case, this is sort of a appeal to anybody who's listening in that if they're interested in contributing, we as the local chapter are going to contribute some funds. But anybody who wants to contribute, simply go to what they call endpolio.org, which is run by the national, or if they want, they could send a check to the local Rotary here at, let me get our box number, box 715, and we'll see to it that it gets there. So the intent is to try and help contribute towards that 50 million that Polio International wants to raise. And if it's a case that this is successful, then this will be the second disease after smallpox to be completely eradicated.
Wow, that's an accomplishment.
really
That's wonderful.
impressive.
And I forgot to mention, but several of my friends had polio as youngsters, and most people don't realize it, but polio has shown an attitude that even though they recovered during mid-age, that when they get into their older ages, they relapse.
Yeah.
And they get a great deal of muscular weakness and wasting as far as that's concerned. So almost everybody that I know who had polio young and now in their older ages are now confined to wheelchairs or electric carts, and have basically lost the ability to walk completely, and it's affected their breathing and other facts. So it's not a case that you stop it at one age. You really got to get rid of it in the very beginning, because once there's of those people who caught it before this program was started, all of them are going to suffer when they reach their senior ages, as far as that's concerned.
I didn't think I met Jeremy until right before the election, 2 years ago. I met Hala during the comprehensive planning process. We sat together over at Bell School. I think it was the first time I met you. And I obviously met the three of you 4 years ago, and some of you before, actually back at the beginning of the decade. But I wanted to thank you, because I think the five of you have been, at least outwardly, I don't know what happens in executive session, you know, a very effective team for the town. And to me, the combination of both productivity and lack of any kind of groupthink has been very beneficial for all residents. And I think the five of you, I really appreciate that. As somebody who's been, you know, vocal and advocating for a variety of topics over the past, 6, 7 years, it does not go unnoticed. And I think it's attributable to all five of you. It's not just one single person. So I wanted to say thank you. I'm not sure anybody has been up here to say that. So I wanted to make sure that I said that. to all
Nice to
five of you.
hear.
Thank you, that's very
Yes, correct. Section 60-410M5A has been revised to require coops and enclosures to be located at least a minimum of 100 feet from any residence situated on an adjacent lot and outside the minimum setback of a district in which they are located. The law previously required co-ops and enclosures to be located a minimum of 20 feet from any lot line. Third, special permit option is being created to allow, subject to the approval of the zoning board of appeals pursuant to a special permit, residents to keep a maximum of 6 chickens on properties within the half-acre district. And the application has to go through the special use permits. The zoning board of appeals must determine whether the applicant has demonstrated that the proposed use will not cause a detriment to abutting properties, and whether the owners of abutting properties have raised substantial and reasonable objections to the proposed use of chickens. The special permit applicants must also mitigate any potential visual impacts on neighboring properties or streets, and the coops and chicken enclosures must be located a minimum of 80 feet from any residence situated on an adjacent lot. And then the special use permit is valid for 2 years and is renewable by the building department. They
I
don't
didn't
have
know
to
we
go
were
back.
putting a feet requirement.
A coop or enclosure, you have to obtain a building permit. I know there's coops and there's coops. If you have a dog house, do you need a permit? So I'm thinking that at some point this could be a bit onerous. I mean, it depends again, if I'm putting down a concrete slab and I'm building like the deluxe coop, then maybe a permit is warranted. But I guess if I'm thinking it might be a fairly simple, enclosed coop, it's not all that different from a doghouse.
I think the difference here is the concern that you want to confirm the location of the coop,
Right.
also the concern about odors coming from the coop if it doesn't have the proper ventilation. So in paragraph 5, it sets forth a number of standards that I think the board is concerned you want to have a building inspector confirm from a health and safety standpoint in terms of the cleanliness of the operation. If it does become onerous, or if the building inspector does a number of inspections and finds out that everything is fine and it is as standardized as we expect it to be, the town board can come back and remove that provision. But my understanding is from the discussions, there was a recognition that, we're going to enter into this slowly, and this is one way to assure that the potential for odors is at least addressed in this manner, to ensure that the operation is done
I think,
correctly.
and it's also to confirm where.
Area, the section on the special use, not variance.
Special use permit.
Yes. In paragraph E.
E of which section?
Page 6.
E of page 6, if specially permitted accessory use ceases for any reason for a continuous period of more than 6 months, the permit issued hereunder shall be automatically revoked, whereas on the other zoning sizes, it's, so, why?
So the only thing is if the people are renting them, and it's a 6-month rental, do you want it in
Yeah, you don't have to do it every.
I do want to thank you guys. I mean, I know you've made a few faces like, this should be so easy, why do we have so much public comment? And it should be, but I think it's really cool that people want to do this and that we're supporting it. And I do also support that we see how this goes in the first year or two, and we may need to wiggle one way or another to loosen
Right.
or tighten.
Ostriches,
Right.
Turkeys?
emus.
Yeah.
Concerns raised, the law was amended, and it's in your packet. So first, the definition of a vape shop was amended to provide that a vape shop is any retail outlet with 25% or more of its retail space devoted to selling or distributing electronic cigarettes or vapor products. Second was a provision was added in the proposed local law to prohibit the establishment of vape shops within 2,000 feet of a lot line of any school. And this requirement is in addition to the distance requirement that prohibits the establishment of vape shops within 500 feet of any park, playground, library, or religious institution, and also the other distance requirements of prohibiting vape shops being located within 1,000 feet of each other.
Okay.
Those were the changes that we
Yeah, I
discussed at
thought
the
that
last
what
work
we had
session.
also discussed